Oh heavens, this place is too dark. Hang on, let me just... Aha! Yes! Salutations, adventurer of Heathmoor. 'Tis I, the Lawbringer main himself, here to welcome you to a new form of content I'm giving a whirl. This is the first installment of many, so if you do enjoy this content, please do consider liking and subscribing. And if you think any of your fellow knights, Viking, or samurai friends may also enjoy this, do share this honourable content with them. Alright, now I'll give some further context. This series is about reviewing some For Honor content clips and taking into context how toxicity occurs within a match. After analysing the clips, we will come to a conclusion of the severity of this toxicity and how validated it is. Severity can vary from simple wows and targeting to full-blown messages and voice chat abuse. We'll be measuring each validation in 3 categories. So for this we'll be using an arbitrary method of 3 different scores. A score on how toxic they were, and a score of their validation. Both of these will be marked out of 1 out of 10, and a final rating of what type of toxicity they are. This could be anything from them just getting angry at the game, to them just wanting you to truly suffer in this game. And let's be honest, this is the For Honor community. Everyone wants you to suffer. Just a little side note that this is my first time trying this heavy in editing style, so please do support me in the future if you enjoy this content. And now without further ado, here's the list of people we will cover today. Alright, for this first clip, or first few clips, these are taken from a match of Dominion where we see Emmy Fox and Aquatic Pickle. So, here we go. So first of all we find Aquatic Pickle down at Zone B. And at first it seems she's going to be honourable, but then she seems to have tried to attack me while I was emoting. Though it's not the end of the world if that happens. I did however get a very lovely light parry. And we did take it in turns trading blows and parries, until one of us eventually came out the victor. And you can guess that would be me. And me winning against her by doing a zone feint to guard break seemed to have set her off for the triple wow. And then a bit further into the match, we find Emmy Fox as the warmonger. I will mention this now, Emmy Fox earlier was a honourable one-on-one person. However, they then slowly became a bit of a WoW spammer. Because, why wouldn't you? Now, I will point out from here, this is a 1v1 between me and Emmy Fox, so this is a fair fight, one-on-one. She may be a little bit lower, but it's still a fair 1v1. She does get a lot of hits off on me, but it's very clear she went for a bunch of light spam. And there again, Aquatic Pickle doing the WoW spam in the chat. And since she decided to light spam, I decided to do a little bit of backfire. And they didn't seem to take it that well, considering they started it all. Oh well. And now from here again, we find ourselves with the Peacekeeper, again, trying to gank a teammate of mine. I was not going to let that slide. However, I would have to because I got bled out. And the same emote spam is retaliated right back at me. And now we skip a bit further to the end game, where we are breaking. And it is a not very nice place. Both the Warmonger and the Peacekeeper were both being quite salty. And, well, there is some validation behind theirs, but at the same time I did not want to see them again. Because, well, I may be honourable, but that does not mean I also am always perfect. And so the match ends here, with a very beautiful end picture. A virtuosa for some reason not being toxic, and a warmonger and peacekeeper doing it instead. And now for the ratings. Aquatic is more in the wrong here, so she gets a lower validation score. And the only reason that Emmy Fox is getting a higher validation score is because there is the possibility of her only being toxic because Aquatic started being toxic and she thought that it was started by us. That is the only reason why her validation is slightly higher. The reason her toxicity is also a little bit higher is because at least the Aquatic person did not resort to just light spamming. Instead, she actually still fought. And so for final judgment, Aquatic is seen as salty, Emmy Fox just tagged along. Alright, this next clip is of Babak and Cuthbert. I believe that's how you say it. These two I met within a brawl game. At the time, it was me and a teammate versus those two. And at the start, all seems quite well. There's nothing really to complain about for this first bit, because, well, the jiggle is quite literally just what most Highlander players do. It's just a tradition, I guess. We get some nice light parries off. It's a good back and forth, some crushing counters. All is quite nice. It's a fair 1v1. Both sides seem to enjoy it. In the end, I manage to defeat the foe. But here is where it begins to get worse. And the reason being, the Warden doesn't want to fight, or doesn't know how to fight. Because they completely avoided fighting for a good minute. And to top it all off, the teammate I was with managed to disconnect, meaning this was now a 1v2, and he even tried to revive mid-fight and doesn't seem to know anything about etiquette. Now I admit, brawls are brawls, you can't really expect honor, but at the same time, there's a level of common decency amongst us all. Now, even I'll admit, I was slowly losing my patience with this Warden because they just outright refused to have a duel. Until the match slowly inched to its end, and he got bored of waiting. Which is right now. And of course, sadly, because of my low health, I am not able to defeat him. And it goes as you would. Like that. And during this second round, he again refuses to have a fair duel, and just decides to do Ring Around the Rosie. So, I just decide to wait it out, and hope that the Highlander had some decency to duel me instead of the Warden, because at this point I was not willing to fight the Warden after all of his running around. And it appears that the Highlander was willing to accept that agreement of fighting me first. Now this fight does go similar to how you would expect it to go. Some parries, some misreads, and a lot of bashes from both parties. Now I admit I did fumble quite hard during this fight, because, well, I was a bit rusty at this time. Now I do lose here, I still say good fight, but it's only rescinded by the one man who decides to twerk. Typical Highlander stuff, but not dishonourable. The actual toxicity occurred within the last round of the match, quite late in. They're already 2 up, and I'm still with a bot teammate. It's simple duels as before, and accidentally let go of my controller, which may have resulted in an accidental target switch, but I did not go for a hit. I do manage to get quite a few guard breaks on this man, and he lets a unblockable heavy fly fully. Now sadly here I am not that good against Highlanders, so I do just barely scrape through to kill him. And what does the Warden do? Runs around again to try and get a res. And so I try to do the same, and I manage to. And what happens now? The bot fights the Highlander, and the Warden still runs away. My teammate gets executed again. Now I've got two opponents, both on full health, and me just left with a slither. So I decide to just do the simplest thing I could do. With my low health and their both high health, I just decided to make it easy and go for the simplest way out by telling them to simply ledge me, so we can get it over with. The Warden seems to refuse to do it. The Highlander tries to save me and pull me away from the edge, but ends up ledging me on accident. The ratings for these two are a little bit simpler. Cuthbert was the only real toxicity here, and he had quite literally zero reason to do so, continuously running away from a fight, which is just grieving his teammate. And Backback, I would not really call toxic. I'm assuming his WoW spam was only because he was just annoyed that I wasn't going to die like a regular person would, and just fight it out. But let's be honest, there's not much you could do in that situation. This is probably the most simple one I need to give out, but Babak is not dishonourable, and Cuthbert is just a basic Dorbany. Alright, and now we're going to end with a bit more of a light-hearted one, because this one I've added simply for the fact that I find it hilarious, because there's no reason for it. And you'll learn in about a couple seconds.
Same bullshit again? Nobody's helping? Okay.
Did you hear it? Yep, we got a toxic teammate for the final video. And this guy was a handful for the entire length of the Breach match. Or more likely, 2/3 of it. So this match starts off relatively calm, besides what he said at the start, with it just being a simple calm before the storm. Or storm rush, because I'm playing Orochi. Haha! You don't have to laugh, it's not funny.
I just have a question. Why is nobody helping? Why is nobody like playing the game properly?
Yeah, I'm confused at what this guy's angry about, because we're all defending the castle wall while he's just stuck in minion lane. And just bear in mind, he technically here asks for help doing something that is quote-unquote helpful. Well, let's see in a minute how he reacts to being helped.
Lawbringer, don't double team, don't double team.
Okay. So he asks me to help, he asks the whole team to help, but then refuses help once it happens. It also appears the shaman was a little bit toxic, because she, after most kills, just emoted on people, with the whole red eyes. The focus here, though, is not the shaman, because they weren't toxic enough for me to even think about putting them in the video. Side note, I'm pretty sure all of you can tell I'm not good as Orochi because of these clips. Also, for context here, the enemy team is quite literally crushing us. They've captured all the zones, almost, and they are very good at ganking.
Guys, what the fuck are you doing? Like, fucking so fucking stupid. Protect the fucking ram. How can you be so stupid?
Keep in mind at this point that one of our teammates had already left and the other one planned to leave very soon after this guy made this comment. And as you hear just there, we're down to just me and this toxic person. And now let's hear the last thing this guy has to say.
Just leave, dude. Just leave.
Yep, he quite literally says, just leave. Twice.
You're not getting points.
Not getting points, yet I'm above him in points. Sadly, that is the last of this guy's speakings, because after this he quite literally just leaves. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's abundantly clear where this guy's going to sit on the Toxicity radar, because not only is it voice chat, and swearing and calling out your teammates, but enough to make two of them rage quit and then yourself. And a relatively simple judgment call that they are a trash talker and quite the rage quitter. And one last thing, I still don't have an official name for this genre of my videos, so in the comments down below, if you see them, please do give me some suggestions on what I should call these Lawbringer Judgement videos of people just being toxic in For Honor. I hope you've enjoyed, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next videos. Have a splendid day, evening, or night. Goodbye.
Si hay sistema, busco el fallo, meto el gol.